Saro is a 24-year-old woman from Africa. She attended Howard University for one semester and left due to mental health challenges. She aspires to be a cardiothoracic surgeon. Wow. My goodness. She currently attends the prep program 3 days per week. In her free time, she enjoys reading, watching documentaries, and spending time with her friends. Welcome, Saro.
My name is Saro. Today I'll be talking about my history of depression and schizophrenia. I have a family history of depression, and I'm also schizophrenic. In my family, there was a lot of stigma with depression, and so I never talked about it with my family. I started having hallucinations when I was a kid, but I thought it was normal. My mom also suffers from depression, but we did not talk about that until I was much older. As I grew up, my depression became worse, especially when I was separated from my mom and my sisters. I went to boarding school for 3 years, and I was preparing to go to university. And as I was preparing to go to university, I underwent surgery for a breast lump, and then became addicted to Vicodin because I was having hallucinations, and my depression was overbearing. I then went to university and medicated my psychosis with alcohol and weed, and I didn't go to any of my classes because I was paranoid. I thought people were trying to kill me. I visited my sister a lot because I didn't have anyone to talk to, and even then I didn't talk with my sister about it because of the stigma. Before I got help, life was hard. When I was 15 years old, my parents weren't around, and my uncle was my guardian. He didn't know what to do with my sisters and myself. He sent us to the basement, and he threatened to take us to foster care for something that my sisters posted on Facebook. His wife came from Belgium, and she really disliked us and didn't want us to stay with him. My uncle and his wife held a party, and a different aunt and a family friend spoke with us about my uncle's guidelines for living with him. His guidelines were strict and made us upset. We asked if we could stay with my aunt, but she said no. We felt that nobody cared for us. A family friend offered to become our new guardian, and my mother and father's parental rights were terminated. I then attended 2 different boarding schools in New Hampshire and graduated in 2013. I went on to attend Howard University, but I became sick. I experienced auditory and visual hallucinations. I saw billboards that told me to kill myself, as well as werewolves in transition. I would hear whispers that people were trying to kill me and that I wasn't safe. I was also disoriented a lot. I would have to be in a certain area of campus for a class, and it would end up downtown next to the metro station with no memory of how I got there. The registrar's office then lost my guardianship document, and this prevented me from registering for classes for the spring semester. I began getting sicker and subsequently left school due to being unable to register for classes and my mental health well-being. When I first left school, I stayed with a family friend in Durham. I felt pressure to get a job because they were upset that I wasn't talking to them about my depression. Instead of an appointment with a psychiatrist and a therapist. The psychiatrist prescribed me antipsychotics and antidepressants, but he had no idea what was wrong with me. When I saw my therapist, she suggested I go to the hospital. That was one of my many hospital stays. After a few months of going back and forth to the hospital, I went to visit my family in Europe. I was struggling very hard, and after one night of staying with my aunt in the UK, I went to the hospital. There, they diagnosed me with depression and schizophrenia. I was there for a month, but they let me have day stays at my aunt's house. I didn't like the hospital because all they gave us to eat was custard. When I finally left, I traveled to see my family in different parts of Europe. When I got back, I stayed with my uncle, who after several weeks demanded that I leave his house immediately in a month. I worked with TOY to find an apartment, but to no avail. Finally, the pressure was too much, and I hurt myself by taking extra sleeping pills and was hospitalized again. My TAY supporter visited me several times. After several weeks, I was released. By then, I got a new TAY supporter who was also helping me try to get an apartment. Finally, TAY helped me get into respite, and from there I went back to Europe for a couple of months to stay with my family and attend a wedding. After returning from Europe, I went back to respite. TAY helped me get disability and also look for an apartment. Finally, we found an apartment, and I have been there ever since. PrEP and TAY have been amazing on my journey so far. They helped me get disability, go to respite, and find an apartment. When I first went to prep, it was a Tuesday and it was drama group. I was nervous and shy and didn't know what to expect. As the weeks went by, I became even more comfortable. I met with a therapist, I went to the gym, I helped buy groceries, and I attended different group therapies. I felt safe. I also participated in a drama group presentation, which I was the host of. Not only was I the host of it, but I recited a poem from one of the interns' favorite books. Prep is helping me get back to university. I like going to prep because it is fun. I like meeting new participants and hearing about their stories. I also like the different group therapies they offer and the staff at prep. I appreciate you all being here, and I thank you for taking the time to listen to my story today.